Hello everyone, and welcome back to No More Heroes on the Nintendo Wii. I'm Well Sheep yet again.
What?
Did an employee from the Empire just steal my bike? Oh, that's no good. We gotta go fast and get chased after him. Come on, let's go! Wow! So yeah, you can't get your bike back at this point, ladies and gentlemen. We do need to manually run all the way up across to this point to get hold of the final mission. So let's go, shall we?
Dark Star. Welcome to my castle.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This here is the final mission of No More Heroes. And to start things are starting off differently as well, because in this one we got a bit of a driving minigame. What do we gotta do? Well, we simply have to drive to the end on our bike without dying. If we crash into obstacles, we'll take a little bit of damage to our health. If we crash into a bike, we'll take damage to our health. We can run into these guys and knock them off the bike by boosting into them. However, be careful, because whenever they fall off the bikes, which they can do, because they can also drive into these boxes and stuff that are just sort of randomly placed along tracks. And if they run into them, the bike that they're riding will also be considered an obstacle. So you'll be able to trip over their bikes, and it can be quite awkward. But overall, it's a very easy mission, very easy minigame. And I believe they also try to shoot like grenades and stuff at you while you're on your way driving up here. So just watch out, be careful of that. Now, honestly, this is a very simple minigame, because as you see, these guys are numpties. Come on, those two just knocked themselves out, for God's sake. Come on, people, come on. I'd expect better smartness from your brains, considering we're in the final mission of the game. But alas, we are not. They are not. But yeah, this is all this mission is for the most part, at least the first part of it. This mission's mainly split up into three major parts. You got the initial part by here where we're just riding on the bike, and after a short while we're going to have to deal with the obstacles such as trees that are blocking the road, so we're going to need to jump over, and giant laser cannons of death that are going to try and shoot us off the road. And they're easy enough to deal with, to be perfectly honest. You should be coming up to the first tree pretty much right around this corner. The second part of the mission is where things are going to get, in normal territory. You're going to have the usual sort of kill the mooks idea going on in the second half, so that's going to be pretty cool. And the final section of this final mission is, well, it's the boss fight. Normally I wouldn't consider the boss to be its own section, but trust me, the boss fight will take a long ass time, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have the Tsubaki Mark III, this upcoming boss fight is the final boss of the game, so yeah, be careful. And what do I mean if you have the Tsubaki Mark III? Well, basically, if you didn't get the final beam katana before taking on this mission, well, simply put, you will not be able to fight the final boss. For some reason, the final boss is locked behind the best beam katana you can buy in the game. It's quite strange. But, I digress. Anyway, to dodge this giant laser of death, all we need to do is move to the left or right of the screen as it's about to shoot. And, for the most part, it's easy enough to dodge, You just sort of move slowly to left or right, and you're not likely to be hit by it, Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Although when we reach the final section, but here we got this giant jaw, fuck's sake, commentary skills, they're not working here. You got this giant drawbridge, so what you need to do is wait for the speedometer, go up to the 12, push the Z button, boost up your speed, and swing the Wii remote at the right time to make it across. If you make it across successfully, well, you'll be moved into the next sequence. That's... A lot of people theorize this is meant to be the Garden of Madness. What do I think it is? Well, honestly, I think we're in the Lost Woods from The Legend of Zelda, because there's literally nothing here except for a ghost telling you which direction to go. Now, if you don't go in the same direction that this guy points you in, Ryu, whatever his name, Thunder Ryu, then you will loop. You will loop around until you go in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. So, honestly, this is one of those sequences where you're going to need to watch out, keep an eye out for Thunder Ryu, and see which way he's pointing, so you know, yeah, I gotta go in this direction, okay. But every screen or so, you're going to have a normal fight against these sort of mooks here, like, and as you can tell, this is the final final level of the game. And like I said previously, way back in that stupid hallway level, because that's the last time I think that was the last time we saw these mooks. These are the main enemies of the stage. They're the strongest mooks in the entire game. They take a lot of health to kill. They shoot purple energy blasts at you, and they have the extremely ridiculously high defense. Now, one thing you're going to want to make note of is when you're fighting these guys, still pay attention to Thunder Ryu in the background, because he does fade away after a set period of time. And if you go the wrong way, well, obviously the room will reset, which means you need to fight the mooks again, and again, and again, and again. Now, if you want, you could probably use this as a grinding spot to gain more money, but at this point of the game, you're at the final stage. Why do you need money, you know? So, just pay attention which way Thunder Ryu points you in, and, yeah, that's basically all she wrote. Now, a general rule of thumb as well, if you miss Thunder Ryu, is usually the pathway with the collectible is the pathway that's wrong. You need to go the opposite pathway, usually. I think there's usually an exception here and there, because I don't know if this maze is randomized or if it's the same every single playthrough. If it's the same every playthrough, great! Just memorize which way to go. If it's randomized, then, well, you're shit out of luck. You have to kill people until you realize, oh, I gotta go right, I gotta go left, you know? But yeah, the Tsubaki Mark III, oh my god, this weapon is just godlike. And one thing I can probably tell you guys about this weapon is the charge blast. When you use the down, you know, the low charge attack with this weapon, if you continuously mash the A button after you initiate it, you can do like a 3-hit combo of charge slices, and it's basically the key to defeating the final boss without issue. It's the key to defeating the final boss in the quickest time possible, you know, ladies and gentlemen, because otherwise, well, the final boss is going to drag on for long, and the final boss is long as it is, so it's going to drag on even longer, and you don't want that to happen. That's assuming you can get through the final boss, because while I considered Shinobu to be the hardest boss fight in the entire game, as in it took me the most attempts, in terms of raw effort, the final boss we're about to face does take the most amount of effort to take care of, because she is literally basically the final boss is literally there as a culmination of all we learnt up until this point, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we need to use every single skill in our possession in order to take her down. She's going to be tricksy, difficult, and very epic to watch, because trust me, I love this upcoming boss fight. It's just so epic. Anyway, I believe we're coming up to the final room by here. You know you're coming up to the final room because the final room will have more than 2 of these guys in one area at the same time. So a good way to sort of try and take these guys out without much effort is to try and use the charge blast. Now, if you do use the charge attack and basically they block it, well, you're going to have a hell of a lot of your battery being drained, which is something I didn't really mention it earlier on in the playthrough, despite the fact it could happen. Basically, your charge attacks, they use up a lot of energy as it is, you know, that's a granted. But I believe if you get hit when you have a charge, you know, if they block your charge attack, you're basically shut out of luck. So, just pay a bit of attention to that, and just hopefully you can deal with these nukes just fine. Unfortunately, I failed by here because I didn't see Thunder Ryu, because Thunder Ryu's already appeared and went, oh, you're not paying attention, well, fuck you, I'm out of here, and he's leaving us to deal with Darth Vader's rip-offs here. Seriously, why are they TIE fighters? I never understood that. Why are they Imperial soldiers? Why are we fighting these guys? It makes... Well, I guess it kind of makes sense considering the Star Wars parallels with this game as a whole, because... Well, let's face it, we have a lightsaber, for fuck's sake, as the main weapon. And also, notice how quick this weapon charges up energy. It's insane. And no, you're going the wrong way. You go the... Like I said, the general rule of thumb is to go the opposite side of what an item's at. I didn't listen to my own rule when I was recording this, so yeah, I'm an idiot. What can I say? What can I say? We have to deal with these mooks yet again. But no, I'm really tempted to just... I want to do this just for the fact of, well, Nintendo's been awful with copyright content ID recently, but I'm just tempted to chuck in like the Lost Woods theme from Zelda. You know, do 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 do. My voice cracked when I was in the middle of humming that. That's no good. That's no good. Okay, come on guys, can you piss off for a sec? I just need to charge my beam katana. I love how quickly the beam katana with this weapon charges up though, and as you can tell, the energy drop that you get with this beam katana when you hit people is tiny. You lose very little energy when you hit people. I don't know, I just love this beam katana. It's ridiculous. It's fucking it's god mode in terms of what. Well, it's basically what you expect an ultimate weapon to be. You know, it's the best weapon in the game. It's ridiculous how much power you can have. But alas, that is the very final room of this Lost Woods maze with enemies in, so... You know, actually, this woods looks terrifying when you're in Sith mode there. There you go. Thank you, God, for taking me out of that. I just expect Slenderman to pop out of nowhere going, "Hello, old bean. Yes, so you're wandering about in the woods. Well, it's too bad for you." Yeah, I don't know why I gave Slenderman that voice. Clearly, I'm the greatest voice actor known to mankind, you know. We need to make a horror villain. I got the perfect voice for him. Okay, old bean, yes, I think it's time to impale you over some spikes, old chap, yes. Ta-ta. I don't know what I'm saying. But, yeah, Thunder Ryu gives us a little gift by here, which is basically... It's basically motivational speech, you know, ladies and gentlemen, so yay, I guess. And I believe that is the final trading card as well, so let's just run on up and get a final phone call. We're almost at the end, folks.
Travis, can you hear me? It's Sylvia. I never thought you'd make it this far. But I am sorry. I cannot see you anymore. I want to fly to your side right now. I want to be in your arms. I want to be with you. I want to share my life with you, no matter the cost. Meeting you, I felt truly alive for the first time. I mean that.
Liar!
But feelings and reality are two different things. Life is not that simple, yes? Now, be honest. Did you really think I would let you do me if you hit number one? You really are an idiot, aren't you, Travis? Come back to reality. I mean, look at yourself. You are a dopey Otaku Assassin, the bottom of the barrel. No woman would be caught dead with you unless she was a desperate bitch. Where in the world could you find a woman who could fall in love with someone like you? Well, one is right here. It was fun, Travis. I love you. Now, don't forget to use the restroom. Trust your force and head for the garden of madness.
Yeah, shut up, poopy pants. But yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just save for the final time, and yes, there is a restroom in the middle of the forest. Don't ask how, don't ask why, there just is. And it's not even a restroom, it's literally a toilet in the middle of the forest. Who installed a toilet? Why would someone install a toilet? What purpose would a toilet be out here for? Maybe lumberjacks would use it, you know. I need a shit. I'm on my break. Oh, there's a fortunate toilet installed right next to where I'm working and cutting down these trees. That is fantastic. Whoever installed that toilet, have they not heard of porta potties? But I digress. It's time to take on the finale once and for all.
Welcome to my castle. I heartily receive you, my son.
All right, enough with the jokes.
A joke? You don't remember me, Travis. I am your true father. Blood does not make such mistakes.
Jeez, you are full of it, aren't you? It's a good story, I'll give you that much.
We'll see if this is just another story.
Even if you were my father, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters here is who's best.
Remember, son, engraved into your memory is the night when everything changed. I fell to my feet right before my son's eyes. Do you not remember this?
In my deepest memories, I hear someone calling. I remember. It was a hot summer day. There was someone standing behind my father and mother. That person killed my parents. The face, I can't make it out. Who are you?
Remember.
Who are you?
Try harder.
I think I can see it. Almost.
Do you recognize the face?
Now I remember everything.
Well done, son. She was the girl you loved.
You're still as gullible as ever, Travis. Think, why would he be your father?
I guess you're right. I don't have a father. At least not anymore. You killed him, didn't you?
Yes. And that's why you became an assassin. To kill me.
Now I get it. All those fights. It was for this. I lost everything that I ever cared about. That bitch took everything.
I can help you to get even.
She's a good con artist, that's for sure. She set up some killer fights.
So you and I finally meet. You should thank Sylvia.
Jean, there's just one thing I want to ask you. Who are you?
Me? You don't need to know. All of your trivial questions will be answered in the afterlife.
Answer me!
It's impossible.
Impossible? What do you mean?
It's too terrible. It alone would jack up the age rating of this game even further.
So what? Who cares?
What if the game gets delayed? You don't want this to become No More Heroes Forever, do you?
All right. I'll fast forward this so you can tell me.
Okay. I'll make it short and quick.
You are my half-brother. You know that manga called Miyuki? The Japanese one? Well, it's like that. Your father abandoned my mother to run off with your mother. It broke her heart beyond repair. She killed herself. Knowing I had nowhere to go, he took advantage of me. Ever since I can remember, he molested me. We lived in this rotten apartment, and I was his slave. Every day I cursed his soul. I swore that I would kill him one day. But cursing didn't change anything. That's when I decided to become a killer. With no money to pay for training, I paid with my body. But to you, I bet that son of a bitch looked like a hard-working family man. That was all an act. He didn't give two shits about cleaning up my life. So I decided to clean it up myself. That's why I do what I do. And I got what I wanted. Killing him in front of your very eyes.
That's my story.
Imagine that. You and I. Brother and sister.
Now you see what I've been through?
Maybe it had to be done. But vengeance begets vengeance.
You're right. Go ahead. Draw, brother.
All of your sorrows end today, Jean.
Oh, so what do you know? And if you guys remember, Travis's cat's name is also Jean, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, this is the final battle of the game, and probably the toughest battle in the game for a lot of people in their first time through. Now, personally, I still find Shinobu harder, but again, I'm a really exceptional case in that. And basically, this is more of a battle of attrition. All you need to do is try to hit her constantly, and she will dodge almost every attack you throw at her. She is ridiculously quick, she does insane damage to you, and honestly you need to just do your best, try and dodge as many attacks as you can, try and hit her as often as you can, and hopefully she goes down just fine. Now, there is a way to cheese this boss fight, and I'm not going to show it off for this first phase, but when we get later on into the fight, I'm going to start abusing it a little bit more just to get the fight over and done with, because this fight can go up to about 40-50 minutes if you don't know what you're doing, ladies and gentlemen, you know. I'm not even exaggerating. Even without dying, this fight can take a long ass time to complete, because like, look at her, she's like frigging Sonic the Hedgehog. She's like Agent Smith in the Matrix. You could shoot an automatic gun at her and she'd be like, nope. But anyway, whenever you see her glowing, it's usually wise to dodge out of the way using your D-pad attack. And basically, one good thing you can try to do is whenever she tries to do normal pot shots at you, try and mash left and right on the analog stick as much as you can to activate the shadow step, so you can take as much damage off her as possible. And you can rinse and repeat like that. Or you could cheap this boss fight out by charging up your low super attack, because with the Tsubaki Mark III, this only works on the Mark III, by the way. Like I said, you can attack multiple times using the charge attack, and it does a significant amount of damage off her, because even though I've hit her a little bit, her health depletes really slowly. And even when you hit her with a full charge attack, it doesn't look like it's done much damage because the health bar goes down a tiny bit. But trust me, ladies and gentlemen, it is the quickest way to take her out, and it is what I recommend if you're not showing off for the sake of YouTube purposes, you know? And also notice the dragon in the background? Don't worry about it. Like, honestly, the dragon in the background serves to be literally a barrier, and that is it. It just exists to be there, to give you a reason to not run away for her. That's the only reason this dragon's here. But yeah, Jean is extremely relentless. She will chase after you really quickly, so just pay attention to what she's doing. And whenever you learn her attack patterns and what her moves are, this boss fight does go by pretty easily, you know. It's just a matter of learning what to do in what situation. That's all it really is. And as time goes on, when she loses more health, she does get more and more fatigued. And when she gets more and more fatigued, she does leave herself open, a lot more. Which basically means you're gonna, as time goes on with the boss fight, you're gonna be able to hurt her more and more and more. Now, whenever you deal a quarter of her damage, the dragon will actually go shorter and smaller, so there'll be actually a smaller arena to deal with, which, yay, I guess. And don't bother trying to grapple her with any moves, because she will do this to you every time. She cannot be wrestled, ladies and gentlemen. If you try to wrestle her into submission, well, she is going to make you submit. Let's just say that much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when she gets to the second wave, she does gain the ability to do a shockwave attack. I don't think she does that in the first wave at all, ever. And the shockwave attack, I've never been hit by it, I don't think. But it exists, and her normal Falcon Punch ability that she shoots forward, well, she does two of them instead of just one. So just pay attention to her moveset, you know. Her moves basically stay the same as always, but they just get upgraded with each running, you know, with each phase. And she does do a hell of a lot of damage when she does actually attack you. Like, my health was really low despite the fact she didn't hit me much at all, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So just dodge, be quick, be nimble, and eventually you'll win. Eventually. Or you could die. You know, you could die, it all depends. Now, whenever you get to the final sections of the boss fight as well, she will close in the dragon so it's even smaller and even smaller, and it honestly means nothing in the grand scheme of things, because granted, she's always close to you no matter what in this boss fight, you know. She's really quick, it's impossible to get away from her, so basically the size of the battle arena is inconsequential or in the grand scheme of things. It just, like, she's changing up the dragon now. I just don't understand why she makes the dragon smaller and smaller, because it just doesn't do anything. Like, I don't even notice when I'm fighting her, you know, I'm still continuously slicing her. And stop grappling her, you tit! Oh my god, past me, I want to punch you. Whenever I see, like, the ducks above their heads, my brain instantly clicks, ooh, push the B button, go on, push the B button, it'll be swell! it won't be swell. It'll cause you to swell up in pain because, well, obviously she breaks your arm. Your arm will swell up. There we go. That's exactly what happens. But yeah, it's around this point where I start really spamming the charge attack because it's around this point in the boss fight where I start to get fed up. And like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, this boss fight can go up to about 40-50 minutes of you just trying to take her down. You know, it is really a trial and a half to get through this boss, so it does kind of make sense for it to be the final battle. Well, with the exception of if you have this beam katana, because there is another battle after this one, ladies and gentlemen. I am spoiling that right now, because you probably already know there's an extra part, because you can see the playlist. Assuming you're watching this through the playlist, and if you're not watching this through the playlist, then oops. I'm spoiling it, there's an extra part. But yeah, that's all she wrote. Jean. Well, Jean's not that hard to deal with, and you know it. That's all I can really say. Although speaking of which, she needs to put on a pair of jeans. Isn't she cold? I mean, it's getting sunset now, and I'm from what I know, desert areas in sundown are really freezing. So come on, put a pair of jeans on or something, girl. You freeze to death. You'll freeze to death. Wait, actually, that's a good thing. Freeze to death. It makes the fight easier for us, so we don't have to fight you ourselves and take you down. Genius! Although, when you reach the final section of the boss fight, you will end up doing a parry attack with her. And honestly, when you do the parry attack, it's impossible to win. You cannot win the parry attack, and it's basically an instant kill anyway. But don't worry, this is plot instant kill. We have to lose this parry attack. So, yeah, there's that. We've won the final boss, ladies and gentlemen.
Do it!
Right.
Brother, please don't kill me!
Sorry, Jean. This hurts me too.
We're both in the same business after all. And I've had enough.
Time for you to rest, Jean.
Good night, Travis.
I hope your next dream is a more pleasant one. It's over. This is where it all ends. Right, Sylvia?
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. With that is it for this part. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. When we return next time, we'll take on the extra boss battle of the game. That, like I said, only unlocks when you have the final beam katana. I cannot stress that enough, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, LP's almost done. So I'll catch you next time for the grand finale. And also, we're about to see an ending sequence as well, where we're going to see a cameo from Killer 7. Now that cameo, at least I think it's Killer 7, it's one of Suda51's other games anyway. Now this cameo, well actually, you'll see that in the next part. Basically the cameo is going to be a, that's where the normal ending will kick in, but if we have the special beam katana, then it'll move on past that. So, thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish, people, and I'll catch you all in the final part. Don't be sheepish, people, I'll see you all then. Bye!